Right. John Fury has just dropped training footage ahead of the Carl Froch fight. And I need you to watch Froch's reaction, because honestly, it is priceless. Because on one hand, Froch is trying to take this seriously. He's accepted the fight, he's committed, he means it. But on the other hand, he is watching a 60-year-old man shadowboxing in what looks like a back garden and trying not to absolutely lose it on camera. The footage has gone everywhere. Everyone's got an opinion. And what happens next in this story is not what anyone saw coming. Stay with me. Okay, so just to make sure everyone's fully up to speed, because this story has moved fast and there's a lot of layers to it now. John Fury confronts Carl Froch at the Tyson Fury vs. Makhmudov press conference at Tottenham. Froch is there working for Netflix, doing his job professionally. John Fury clocks him from across the room and decides that's his moment. Full John Fury mode. Shouting, screaming, chest beating, security getting involved, the whole lot going viral within hours. The reason it happened is because Froch has been on his YouTube channel, one of the biggest boxing channels in the country right now, calling John Fury out consistently. The headbutting incidents, the bullying, the intimidation of people who can't or won't fight back. Froch said what the sport was thinking but staying quiet about. So multiple videos follow from John Fury. He calls Froch a worm. He jogs down a street looking like a slightly unhinged version of Emperor Palpatine. He threatens Froch and Joe Egan simultaneously. Then in the same breath says he won't fight anyone he doesn't like because he doesn't want to give them a payday. Then immediately calls Froch out for the Tottenham undercard. Froch accepts, publicly, on camera, no hesitation. Says he's coming Cobra style and he'll set about him. And just like that, this thing has a potential venue, a potential date, and a life of its own. And now John Fury has dropped training footage, which brings us to right now. Right, so let's talk about this footage because the reaction to it has been almost as entertaining as the footage itself. John Fury, 60 years old, posts what is essentially a training video designed to send a message to Froch. And look, credit where it's due. The man is clearly not sitting at home doing nothing. He is moving around. He is throwing punches. He is putting something out there that says, I am serious about this. I am preparing. Come and get it. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets funny. Because the boxing world, the actual boxing world, the people who know what proper preparation looks like, the trainers, the fighters, the analysts, they've watched this footage and the reaction has been, shall we say, mixed. The size is still there, obviously. John Fury is a physically imposing human being. He is a big lump, as Eddie Hearn so diplomatically put it. And if he lands one of those big shots on anyone, regardless of their boxing pedigree, it is going to cause serious problems. Nobody is disputing that. But the movement, the footwork, the overall conditioning, that is where the questions start. Because this is not the movement of someone who has been in a proper training camp. This is the movement of someone who is big and strong and tough and genuinely believes in themselves, but who has not done the specific technical work that professional boxing preparation demands. And Froch, who spent his entire career at the absolute top level of professional boxing, who trained every single day for over a decade at world championship level, watched that footage and had thoughts. So Froch watches the footage back, and you can see it on his face immediately. There is this moment, right at the start, where he is genuinely trying to keep a straight face and failing. And then the competitor in him kicks in, and you see the shift. Because Froch is not someone who takes anything lightly when it comes to fighting. Even this. Even a 60-year-old man in a back garden. His first reaction is essentially that the footage is not what he expected. Not in a good way for John Fury. He picks apart the movement, the stance, the way Fury is throwing punches. And he does it the way only someone who has actually been at the highest level can do it. Not cruel, not dismissive, but clinical. This is what I see. This is what it tells me. This is what happens when we get in there. And then he says something that I think is actually the most important line in his whole reaction. He says this footage has not scared him. It has made him more confident. Because what he sees in that footage is not a man ready for what is about to come. He sees someone who is tough and dangerous in the way that any big, strong, physical man is tough and dangerous, but he does not see a boxer. And that distinction, for Froch, is everything. Because here is the reality of this matchup, and Froch understands it better than anyone. John Fury being scary and unpredictable and physically massive is one thing, but Carl Froch has been in the ring with the best super middleweights on the planet for over a decade. He has been knocked down and got back up. He has gone to war in front of 80,000 people at Wembley. He has had his nose broken, his eye cut, his body beaten, and he kept going every single time. The idea that John Fury's training footage is going to rattle him is almost laughable, and this is where it gets even more interesting, because the footage has reignited the whole debate about who actually wins this fight if it happens. Eddie Hearn has been pretty consistent throughout. He would never back against Froch on the cobbles, never. But he keeps flagging Fury's size and unpredictability as the wild card, and after seeing the footage, he hasn't changed that position. If anything, he's doubled down on it. He thinks this gets messy very quickly, and messy benefits John Fury, not Carl Froch. Johnny Nelson thinks the footage actually helps Froch mentally more than it helps Fury physically. His read is that Fury put the footage out to intimidate, but it has had the opposite effect. Froch has looked at it, seen what he expected to see, and is now even more locked in. Spencer Oliver, who famously changed his answer about who wins when he realized John Fury was standing right behind him at the press conference, has been a bit more diplomatic since then. But even he admits that what he saw in the training footage does not change the fundamental reality that Froch's boxing ability is on a completely different level. And then there's the people in Fury's corner, and there are some, who look at that footage and see exactly what they want to see. A big, dangerous man who is ready and willing and not afraid of anyone. And fair enough, that is also in there if you want to find it. Here's the question though. Does any of this actually matter for whether the fight gets made? Because that is still genuinely up in the air. John Fury told Netflix to contact him directly. Froch has accepted publicly. The Tottenham show is the logical home for it. But there has been no official announcement, no contract signed as far as we know, no promoter formally attached to it. And John Fury's track record on following through is, let's be generous and say, inconsistent. One video, he does not want to give anyone a payday. Next video, he is calling out Netflix. The training footage feels like another move in that same game. Keep the story alive, keep the attention coming, without fully committing to the thing that makes it real. Froch, on the other hand, is committed. That is not in question. He accepted on camera in front of his audience, and his whole brand is built on being straight and meaning what he says. He cannot walk this back without seriously damaging the thing he has built. So from his side, this is real. The training footage is interesting because it suggests John Fury is at least doing something physical in preparation. Whether that means the fight is genuinely happening, or whether it is just more content to keep the noise going, is the question nobody can answer yet. Right. I want to say something here that I have not heard anyone else say yet, because everyone is reacting to the training footage on face value. Is he fit? Is he ready? Does he look dangerous? And that is all valid. But I think there is something more interesting going on. John Fury releasing training footage at this stage is actually an admission. Think about it. For weeks, his whole position has been that he does not need to prove anything to anyone. He is the fighting man. He is old school. He does not make YouTube videos. He fights. That has been his entire persona throughout this whole saga. And yet here he is, making a YouTube video of himself training, specifically designed to impress Carl Froch and the boxing public. That is not the behavior of someone who is completely unbothered. That is the behavior of someone who has looked at the reaction to his earlier videos, noticed that people are not taking him entirely seriously as a physical threat, and decided he needs to change the narrative. Which means Froch's reaction, and the public's reaction, and the pundits' reaction actually got to him a bit. And Froch knows that. You can see it in how he responds. He is not panicked by the footage. He is not dismissive of it either. He treats it as what it is, information. And the information tells him that John Fury is trying to prove something, which means John Fury feels like he has something to prove. And that is a very different psychological position from the unstoppable force of nature he has been presenting himself as. The Cobra is not just preparing physically for this fight. He is winning the mental battle already. So here is where we are. John Fury has dropped training footage. Froch has reacted. The boxing world is buzzing again. And this fight feels more real today than it did a week ago, even without a formal announcement. The footage has not scared Froch. If anything, it has done the opposite. And if John Fury was hoping to send a message that would make the Cobra think twice, he may have just made his biggest tactical mistake yet. Is this fight happening? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if it does happen, does that footage change anything for you? I am still going Froch. But John Fury in that training footage is not nothing. Until next time.